Okay, we're looking at code 42 again on the 82 Camaro 2.5 liter. Going through the flow chart here. Got the ECM pulled. Got this blue piece off the 22 pin connector, and I'm looking at the EST signal here, which is pin 19 with an ohm meter connected to ground. I'm just using a ground up over here, and with the ignition on it reads low, so that's over here, less than 500 ohms. And then when I touch a test light on here, the light is off. I've got a test light here connected up, and I'm using 12 volts off the door light here with a little probe. So if you go over here and ground this, it turns on. When I ground the pin, which is the bypass signal over here, which is EST bypass, I'm pulling that up. There's a pull-up resistor on there, pulling that up, and the light is still off. So when I have the ohm meter back on again, and I do the same thing, it's still less than 500 ohms. So this flow chart, I'm down here to where I need to disconnect the distributor again and do this again to see if I've got a short to ground or I've got a faulty ignition module. So this is going through here without the computer. This is a 2.5 liter. It's same on the 5 liter engine, the throttle body injection. And what I'm doing is I'm looking here at the connector on the computer to the distributor. It runs, but it's not, I don't think it's going in a closed loop mode. It's got some issues here. And it was running when I first put the new module in the distributor about 6 months ago, but it's got some flakiness now. And so it's either this connector's gone bad or the module's gone bad, or maybe a squirrel went under there and chewed up a wire. I'd be happy if that's what happened. So on the previous video I was showing how to get to the ECM, and I've gone through this flow chart. And what's interesting here, they always talk about measuring with respect to ground, which is this pin here. And in my mine over here, you've got the 4 pins for the distributor are EST signal is A, B is the HEI reference, there's distributor ground, and EST bypass. And on an aftermarket distributor that has a slightly different connector. Mine's got a weird connector that is not on the newer ones. It doesn't have the curved connector to the coil. It's got the old flat one. But the module itself has got a reluctor here that fires off to run the engine in below 400 RPM or in limp home mode. And then once it gets up to speed, it goes through and hands over the timing to the computer. And so there's a chopper wheel here, which is a sensor. And it's powered by this pin, which is positive off the coil. Also feeds the chip. And there's a little capacitor over here that's for noise. And then the reference from the sensor is this B output. That's what the computer uses. And then once it's in EST mode, it takes this pin to fire the coil off. And so this pin is gone through, and the computer adjusts the timing, the delay based on this signal from here. So there's a 4-pin connector. The car will run actually without this plugged in. In the limp home mode, it uses the reluctor wheel here, and that's just kind of a basic and dumb mode. So I've got a problem between the wiring here and the distributor. And so doing all this, I bypassed completely the computer. This particular one is a BND, and that's basically the PROM that's in there. Service number 1225610. So I've gotten down to where I'm going to go through and jack up the car and undo the connector under here and check out the do the same thing. So you're going to disconnect the connector here. See what's going on.